What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Austin coming back at you from Busted Trap Studios. This is episode 31 of Unfiltered Banter. This is the fifth installment of me doing it by myself, or sixth installment. So it's 31 of Unfiltered Banter, sixth solo pod. Here I am coming back at you again. Not a whole lot going on this week. Just a lot of hanging out, working. The snow melted in East Tennessee, so we got a lot of that going down. Finally got some sun freed up. I probably don't know where this is going still, like I said, but I think it may be one of the last ones. I'm kind of hurting. There's not a whole lot of push from anybody on here, so I thought it was something I could do. It's something I've been able to do, but it's not something that's growing. No one seems to share or support local people or friends. So I'll go back to the drawing board and I'll continue to make just regular content and maybe stop the podcast for a while. But I'm going to keep going like I would today because sports is going to be kind of lackluster, which is another reason why I'm going to stop. And I don't really like covering a whole lot of world news. With that being said, kind of jump right into it. NCAA football is over. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the portal. Biggest thing is Jim Harbaugh was signed by the LA Chargers, so now he's going to go coach the Chargers and Justin Herbert. So excited to see what they do there. Other big news from around that. They're hiring Moore, which is who replaced him throughout the season, to replace him. Will Rogers decided to exit the portal after transferring there from Mississippi State to play for DeBoer, and then went back into the portal the moment DeBoer left, and now he's staying. Tennessee got three big commits this past weekend. Zealand's Hurd, which I think I touched on. They all said he was coming. He decided to come, and then a gentleman with the last name Moy, I can't think of his first name right now, he's a defensive lineman from Stanford. So we've really completed this Polynesian pipeline. And then on Monday we had George McIntyre, who's a 6'6", 185-pound, 5-star quarterback out of Nashville, whose dad coached at UT Martin and Vanderbilt back in the day, and his uncle currently coaches. Dad played ball too. His granddad coached back in the day, and his dad played ball, and his uncle currently coaches. And so, kind of just got that there. Big 5-star commitment. Going to pull in a lot of stuff for 2025. Obviously, I don't really know how that works by getting him, because then we have Nico, who will be a junior next year, and then the gentleman behind him, I think it's Mecklinger. He'll be a sophomore when he comes in. So how does George work on plan? Is he cool with sitting for 2 years? Is Mecklinger cool for sitting for another year? Is Mecklinger going to get beat out? Do we bring somebody else in? Who transfers? Who makes NIL money? Who gets hurt? Kind of all very interesting on how that plays out. Big news around college football in general is Kayshon Boutte. The New England Patriots wide receiver Kayshon Boutte was arrested Thursday in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, over allegations of illegal sports betting while he played at LSU. Louisiana State Police said the charges against Boutte, 21, included a felony count of computer fraud and a misdemeanor count of gambling prohibited for persons under 21. The investigation is ongoing, police said, with additional charges possible. Investigators said the Louisiana State Police Gaming Enforcement Division found that Boutte bet on sports from April 6, 2022 until May 7, 2023, when he was 20. Boutte allegedly used an alias to get around the age requirement for placing sports wagers in Louisiana. The alias account, believed to be used by Boutte, placed more than 8,900 wagers with at least 17 bets on NCAA football games, including at least 6 involving LSU, according to police. In July 2023, LSU was made aware of allegations regarding a former student athlete's improper conduct related to sports gambling while enrolled at the university. LSU said Thursday that the statement since then, we have fully cooperated with all relevant authorities involved in the investigation and will continue to do so. We have no evidence that any other student athletes participated in these prohibited activities, and we are grateful for the measures that detect and discourage sports gambling related misconduct. NCAA prohibits players from wagering on any sport and has varying penalties for athletes found to have wagered on them and school, on their team and school. Bouttier's wagering, according to police, continued for approximately a week after he was taken by the Patriots in the 6th round of the 2023 draft. The NFL's gambling policy allows players to bet on sports, but not on anything related to the league. The NFL declined to comment on Bouttier's arrest. Boutter appeared in just 5 games as a rookie this season with the Patriots and had 2 catches for 19 yards. Very lackluster season. I don't know if he was hurt or just he was bad. The New England Patriots are aware that Boutter is cooperating with the Louisiana police regarding their investigation into underage gambling charge. While he was a student at LSU, the Patriots spokesperson told ESPN in a statement, adding that the team was not anticipating any additional comments on the matter. Boutter set an SEC single-game record with 308 receiving yards as a freshman against Ole Miss in December 2020. Had 9 touchdown catches the following season as a sophomore, but he battled injuries during a disappointing junior season with the Tigers before being selected by the Patriots in the 6th round of last year's draft, and he played like a 6th-round pick, didn't do shit. An UGA died this week. RIP to that UGA. Really, all that's going on in college football is him getting transferred. It's Harbaugh going, and then I've not seen too many transfers coming out of Michigan, which is interesting because Saban left and a bunch left there, so it's very interesting on that end. Jumping back, we'll go into NFL because we've got some good stuff going here. Divisional round happened last weekend. The Ravens beat the Texans 34-10. That was on while we was recording. The Packers ended up losing to the 49ers 24-21. That was a good game. Jordan Love threw it away in the last seconds. The Lions beat the Buccaneers. That game was good, then it was bad, then it was good again. So it was a pretty good game overall. It just kind of had its ups and downs. And then the Chiefs Bills, Jake Elliott missed or it wasn't Jake Elliott, it was who the fuck's their kicker's name? Tyler Bass missed a field goal at the end of the game to send it in overtime. I don't really know what's wrong with the Bills. They just don't play well against the Chiefs, even when they're at home. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but Jason Kelsey was there, shirt off, going crazy in the crowd, jumping in and out of the box. Taylor was there. Travis did the heart thing. It was kind of all over. It looks like kind of notable stuff coming up. The Ravens have activated Andrews off of IR to face the Chiefs, so they've got probably one of their best players coming back. There's been lots of hiring going on this week. The Panthers hired the Bucs offensive coordinator, Canales, as their new head coach. The Ravens, Raheem Morris was hired as the Falcons head coach. The Titans hired Callahan, who is the offensive coordinator out of Cincinnati, and he says he will call plays. This upcoming week for games, we have the Ravens versus the Chiefs and the 49ers at the Lions. Those games both take place Sunday, one at 3, one at 6:30. There's still 2 open jobs. The Washington Commanders still have a job available, and the Seattle Seahawks still have a job open. So there's no hiring's been made there yet. It'll be interesting to see who they hire. It's very interesting to me that Bill Belichick don't have a job, but then again, not all coaches go right back into being a head coach after being fired. So maybe Bill takes a year off. Maybe he decides to do something different. Maybe he decides to coach again next year. Maybe he gets hired by the Commanders. Don't really know. It's very interesting to see what happens. I'm kind of waiting to see all that unfold. The Tennessee women's basketball team has been on a pretty good stretch. They're turning it around. They're winning games. Obviously, they still have to do good in the SEC, but it went from them being very mediocre, and I was hanging my head very low, to them picking things up. So it's going to be exciting to see how if they can bounce it back. We'll just jump into women's basketball. The biggest game, probably one of the biggest games of the year was last night for women's basketball as number 1 South Carolina took on number 9 LSU. Angel Reese fouled out and probably was the biggest game of their season. South Carolina won 76-70. Other than that, obviously, it's still not really sure about what's going to go on. Obviously, nothing too crazy that I need to see here. The head coach at Stanford won another game, so she set the career win records in the NCAA mark. So Colorado looks like they're still winning. I don't think that Caitlin Clark's broke the record yet, but she's close to breaking the scoring record, obviously. NCAA men's. South Carolina was stormed for their fans storming the court because they beat Kentucky. DePaul fired their head coach. Oregon State beat number 9 Arizona at a buzzer beating 3. The All-American roster, a McDonald's All-American roster was released, so that's probably what we'll jump into and go from there. Let's see. Your McDonald's All-American 2024 game. Your roster. Nope. Okay. Out of the East, you've got Jalen Bethea. You've got John Bowl, Isaiah Evans, Cooper Flagg, who's a Duke commit. Isaiah Evans is also a Duke commit. John Bowles, a Ole Miss commit. Jaleel Bethea is a Miami commit. Cooper Flagg's probably the best person coming out next year. Super freak when I watch him play on clips online. Ian Jackson, who's a North Carolina commit. Joniel Fland, Kentucky commit. Liam McNeely, an Indiana commit. Thahad Pettiford is a Auburn commit. Drake Powell is a North Carolina commit. Jaden Quintance is a Kentucky commit. Derek Queen, uncommitted, and Bryson Tucker, uncommitted. The boys' head coach is Sherman White. And then there's some assistant head coaches. Out of the West, Arius Bailey, a Rutgers commit. Floria Bundaga, a Kansas commit. Carter Bryant, an Arizona commit. Valzuma Diallo is a Washington commit. Valdez Etchumbi Jr., a Baylor commit. Devon Freeman, a Syracuse commit. Dylan Harper, a Rutgers commit. Richard Johnson, a Texas commit. Carter Knox, who's uncommitted. Trent Perry, who's a USC commit. And Deron Reed and Aiden Sherrill are both Alabama commits. The boys' West head coach is Tommy Brackell, and he's from Texas. Then the women's, we've got, I don't really know any of these girls coming up. No one's all over the world like Caitlin Clark or any of the other ones were. None of them are committed to Tennessee. A lot of UConns, a lot of Texases, Florida, Clemson, Dukes, USC. Amiri Berry, who's from Tennessee, who's committed to Clemson, which is very fucking annoying that happens. She's in the West group. Out of the East group, it's still the same girl going to Vanderbilt. A lot of people Tennessee right now, we're not good, so we don't get a lot of big commits coming in, and that's sad. Hopefully something like that can turn around. I don't really know if there's any other sporting news that really I need to hammer home with. I can check the NBA. I know LeBron got cut. the ball got wet. LeBron kind of freaked out. LeBron's an all-star. Your all-star games, your all-star captains were, or your all-star starters were released. Let's see if I can get this to pull up here. In the East, Giannis Antetokounmpo will team with 76ers center Joel Embiid, Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum, Bucks guard Damian Lillard, and Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton. LeBron made history being named to his 20th All-Star game, passing Kareem for the most All-Star nods in NBA history. He'll be joined on the Western Conference squad by Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic, Suns forward Kevin Durant, Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic, Oklahoma Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's the 73rd edition of the event, hosted by the Pacers, and will be a return to the traditional Eastern versus Western Conference format. LeBron and Antetokounmpo are the captains. After Thursday's announcement, there remains plenty to break down: which side will win, which players were overlooked, whose selections most surprising. The return of the East-West format is actually a good thing. Apparently, they're going over some of your biggest snubs are Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley. Oh, no, it's just Donovan Mitchell because of the injuries to Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. Jalen Brunson's a snub. Kawhi Leonard's a snub. It's Damian Lillard's first time ever being drafted as a starter. So apparently they're asking us to prefer doing a U.S. versus the world, but that seems a little much. Wembanyama went up against Chet this week, blocked his shit. Chet won, had a really good game from what I understand. It's going to be hard not to get blocked by Wemby. In the UFC, I know last week we had the Dricus Strickland fight that I talked about briefly. Dricus Duplessis won. So their face looked nuts. I don't really know. The other big news coming out of there is The Rock joins UFC and WWE TKO group board. Another big thing that's coming from that is the WBE signed a deal with Netflix starting in 2025 for a shit ton of money. So, also NBA news, the Heat went out and got Terry Rozier, so for Kyle Lowry, which I think is a good trade because I don't really care for Kyle Lowry and I like Scary Terry a lot. Honestly, like I said, there's really not a whole lot going on in college football that I can talk about, or NCAA basketball. The men's basketball team for Tennessee is doing really good. Your top's pretty much the same. Like I said, like we were talking about, it's time for the McDonald's All-American game. We're pushing close to figuring out. We're pushing up on February here, so we'll see what happens. Tennessee's still rolling fine. Let me jump on the old interwebs here. The first thing that popped up when I clicked online here was California homeless furnished caves. So from Yahoo News a day ago, California homeless found living in furnished caves 20 feet below street level. So I'm going to click on this and we'll read through this real quick. Homeless people in California were found living in caves along the Tulum River before they were cleared out by Modesto Police Department and volunteers over the weekend. Volunteers with Operation 9299 and the Tullahome River Trust worked with police to clear them out, removing some 7,600 pounds of garbage from the area. Authorities said this particular area has been plagued by vagrancy and illegal camps, which have raised concerns due to the fact that these camps were actually caves dug into the riverbanks. The Modesto Police Department said in a statement, the cleared debris filled 2 truckloads and a trailer, police added. Ahead of the cleanup, individuals residing in the caves and nearby homeless camps were told about the operation and informed of services to assist them, the department said. The caves were about 20 feet below street level and some were fully furnished, indicating that vagrants have been living there for some time. Items found inside including bedding, belongings, food items on a makeshift mantle, drugs, and weapons. Local news station KOVR reported. We had a hard time figuring out how they got so much stuff down in there, considering how hard it was getting it up the hill and out. Operation 2999 coordinator Chris Guptill told KVOR. Guptill was one of the many volunteers who participated in the cleanup. He said his group found 8 caves in total, and this was not the first time they were occupied. We really don't have a known solution on how to deal with it, Goldpitt told KVOR. Tracy Rojas, a Modesto resident who lives near the cave, said it's dangerous for people to take up residence underground. If one of these caves were to collapse, it would be devastating, she told KVOR. This whole thing would come down and go into the water. Homelessness is a growing crisis in California. The city of LA, about 300 miles south of Modesto, recently began recruiting up to 6,000 volunteers to count homeless people. The LA Homeless Service Authority, the street-led street tally helps the county government's efforts to tackle a homeless crisis which has crippled the city with tens of thousands of people living on the streets, living in cars, tents, and makeshift street shelters. These temporary homes have proliferated on sidewalks in the park of the community areas. This so-called point-in-time count aims to estimate how many people are homeless and what financial or medical services they may require for potential mental health conditions or from drug addiction. This count comes as California residents have grown increasingly frustrated over lawmakers' failure to deter the surging homeless population. Since 2015, homelessness has increased by 70% in LA County and 80% in the city. In 2023, officials reported more than 75,500 people were homeless on any given night in LA County, a 9% rise from a year earlier, and about 46,200 within the city of Los Angeles. Homelessness is an emergency and will take working together to confront this emergency, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass said in a statement, calling it an important tool to confront homelessness. You know what the crisis is, California? The crisis is the fact that your fucking taxes is so high. The crisis is the fact that everything out there is so fucking expensive because you choose to make everything so fucking expensive. Because you make everything so fucking hard to come into your state. You make all these fucking rich people do whatever the fuck they want, build giant fucking $900 million houses on the side of mountains, and you let them do whatever the fuck they want. You don't want to pay people correctly, I could only assume. And I don't come to your state. I would love to visit your state, but I don't want to fucking live in your state. And a lot of people don't want to live in your state. So now it's come to the point where all your fucking nice rich people don't even fucking occupy their homes in your state most of the time because they don't want the fucking taxes. They live in Florida. They live in Nevada. They live in Tennessee. And they come here and they get tax breaks. And you know what they do when they come here? Some of them are cool. Steve-O's one of them. That's a cool fucking person. The rest of them is a bunch of non-driving fucking idiots who think walking down two-lane roads with no fucking shoulders is smart. Riding their fucking $3,000 bicycles down these roads is smart. It's not. Okay, California, maybe get your shit together and realize that the people are the only way you're going to continue being a state. If you want your homelessness crisis to end, maybe fucking find a way to help them. But don't fucking say it's a crisis that you need to help them, this, that, and the third. Those people can also help themselves. But the only way they're going to help themselves is if you guys start to fucking make shit less expensive and give them the proper help they need. If they're drug addicts, fine. Let them be drug addicts. That's one less drug addict the world's got to deal with. But come the fuck on. You all put yourself in this situation, and now you all get online and get fucking complain, and everybody complains that it's so bad. Get the fuck over it. So San Francisco's flooded the streets with shit. That's on y'all, San Francisco. That's on your mayors. You people elect those people. Elect a libertarian. Elect a fucking Republican. Stop electing Democrats. Stop fucking electing people who want to kiss your fucking asses. Come the fuck on now. Like, it's just so annoying. It's a crisis. Whoopty fucking shit. There's going to be homeless people to the end of time. There's going to be people that live out there that have mental health issues that should be getting help. There's going to be veterans out there that should be getting help. But instead, you guys are just worried about all of them. Instead of going around fucking stop helping the ones that are drug addicts and feeding them fucking needles, and maybe find the ones that are veterans and give them a place. Stop helping the drug addicts. But you won't. You're going to help them all. You're not going to pick and choose. Maybe it's time to pick and choose. You got them living in fucking caves. Well, that's your all's fault. You know how to fucking stop the caves? Fill it full of fucking dirt. Simple. It's just annoying. Another quick Google search, if you tap here, they're trying to ban nicotine pouches. Chuck Schumer's talking about them. Fuck Chuck Schumer. He puppet, big puppet. Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis both have decided that they're going to back out of the race for president and give it to Trump. And I think they're both backing Trump. Vivek is, I think, trying to get VP, maybe even a seat in the cabinet. So that'll be interesting to see what they do there. Let's pull up and run on the old X and see what we can find on X tonight. I know. John Daly is coming back to the Daily Show one day a week. Dale Jr.'s trending. See why Dale Jr.'s trending. Man, if you don't listen to that Dale Jr. podcast, it's so cool, especially when he talks about his dad and just the way racing was back then. Looks like Royal Rumble is this weekend, and if you're a WWE fan, Barstool is trending. I think we touched on it. If not, Erica Nardini, their CEO, has stepped down and is no longer the CEO. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Nothing real interesting. I mean, there's really not a lot going on that's pulling up here. My For You's very basic. Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion released a new music video. Oh no, Meg Thee Stallion dropped a new music video for Hiss. I don't know why it's listed under Nicki, but okay. Ben Shapiro's in the news. Obviously, that's fucking typical. The AVNs are this week, so there's a lot of AVN stuff going on my socials that I see, stuff that I can't really share, but shout out to AVNs. A porn star died. Today marks the 4-year anniversary of Kobe's death, I'm pretty sure. And a porn star died today, found next to her husband that they believe to be a death due to drugs. So the other big thing going on right now that I see all over the world news and dealing with kind of in a personal manner is illegal immigration. Apparently I've seen videos, Man Cow, who's a radio host out of LA was posting about, or out of Chicago was posting about it, if I'm not mistaken, and then Tucker Carlson posted a video. Maybe I got them mixed up because they were just posting the same sort of rhetoric. Tucker Carlson posted a video of them sending people into the Chicago airport. I know that for a fact, it was in Chicago. And that the police stations are being used as refugee camps, and that the Chicago airport has like a whole refugee camp inside of it, and that they're fighting an Eagle Pass in Texas to try to stop them coming over, and they're basically turning airports into like homeless encampments for illegal immigration. So they're illegal immigrant homeless encampments. They're coming here without papers. They're making money. I mean, I agree that she should be able to come here, but she should be able to come here in the proper manner. I'm not against immigration by any means. It's the illegal immigration part of it that's probably the biggest problem, and I think that maybe we should figure out a way to make it easier for them to come here, but we also shouldn't let them come here, take shop, and then do stuff that they're not supposed to be allowed to do. I've heard a lot of stuff that the blue people pull them in so they can vote. It's very odd. Chicagoans are fed up with Biden's open border. They're being shut out of their own schools, parks, health clinics, and CBD stations in favor of illegals. This is a half-inflicted nationwide catastrophe. H.R. 2, our solution, passed the House 260 days ago, and it actually solves the issue. It says, the Fox News says Chicago communities feel ignored by city officials. Senator Blackburn, blue cities are welcoming illegal immigrants to keep congressional seats and federal dollars. Illegals should not be counted as U.S. citizens, and they shouldn't because they're not here legally. It looks like an hour ago, it appears that millions of patriots are heading to the Texas southern border to help keep terrorists and drug dealers from entering into our states, into the United States of America. Fuck illegals. That's just some random guy. That's not actual news. That's just some guy. Here's a little Tucker clip. If I get demonetized, I get demonetized.
The actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million. It's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact one. Fact two. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact three. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact four. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan. 17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million, at least, permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate, period. The numbers you need to understand.
And that's what Tucker says. I mean, obviously, some people hate Tucker. A lot of people hate Tucker, but I think I agree with what he says a lot of the times. This isn't a left versus right thing, in my opinion. It's a do the right thing opinion. Like, we have a million other things going on, and a million other. You want the homelessness fixed, but you're allowing a bunch of fucking people that aren't coming here to do the right thing. Yeah, they're coming here to work, but they're also coming here to work under the table, not pay taxes, have their kids here, and their wives will fucking apply and do all this stuff, and their kids will come here, and their kids will get all these rights, and that's fine. I understand they want their kids to grow up in a good community, but it's Mexico's fault. It's Guatemala's fault. It's Honduras' fault. It's all the countries that are in Central and South America. It's their fault. It's the countries that in Africa that aren't taking care of their people. It's all of them. You're not taking care of your people, and then it's on the United States to take care of their people. But it's a problem in other countries too, and other countries handle it differently. And then you see us the way we handle it, and you're mad at us because the way we handle it. That's not how it is. You can't be illegal in any country. Some of them are more lenient about it, but we're a huge country, and we deal with a lot of it at one time. 22 million people is a lot of people. I don't hear a lot of, there's a bunch of Canadians coming through. It's because the Canadian government runs their country okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of illegal Canadian immigrants, but they're also not leaving in droves. Like Canada offers a lot of stuff to keep their residents. But I don't know. I'm not really the one to talk about it. It's just very interesting. It's very something to pop on. Like I said earlier, don't know where this may be the last podcast. This may not be the last podcast. This may be turned into Cowan Conversations, where I talk to my family. Busted Trap Studios presents Unfiltered Banter, Cowan Conversations edition, to where I talk to my family members until I can get people to come on. Still no word from Logan. Still no word from the other Logan. I'm going to do this by myself until then. Car content coming soon. Got a lot of Cars and Coffee events. JJ the Boss is coming back to Knoxville Dragway. We're going to that. Crossville Dragway. I've got comedy shows coming up. Obviously, I can't record those, but I can record where I'm going. Jersey trip. There's a lot of stuff planned. Hopefully, they all come to fruition, and hopefully, it all just builds big. And, guys, I hope you stick with me. I hope you listen, and I hope you like, subscribe, share, follow the links below, and just stay tuned for more. Keep doing big things.